Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family, to episode 11 of PSGINT reacting to tweets. Let's get into it. So, Lucas Hernandez, all the Champions League matches are going to be tough games. We're aware of that. We're ready. We're still a very young team. We still have that hunger in the coming years. PSG team will be incredible. When you come back from two ACL injuries to get back to your level, you still need time, especially game time. Mentally, I'm 200%. Physically, it's complicated, but I'm 100% convinced that my top level will return. He's still saying physically it's complicated. Which I mean doesn't look good. Obviously, I wish Lucas Hernandez to come back to his best. You know, that first season at Paris Saint-Germain, but I think that's behind us now. This is obviously good that he mentions that we still have that hunger in the coming years. PSG's team will be incredible. Lucas Hernandez obviously wanting to be a part of this journey. What's the most iconic stadium in all of football? Great question. What is the most iconic stadium in all of football? Maybe Wembley. You know, so many finals have been played there, Champions League finals. Wembley is a good shot. Obviously, you have the Bernabeu, the Camp Nou, the San Siro, the Allianz Arena. But Wembley, I mean, that's a final stadium. We've had Champions League finals there. So I guess this is Maracanã in Brazil, this picture off. But I'm probably say Wembley. First thing that pops up in my head. 2019 Ballon d'Or was for Lionel Messi. 2019 Riyad Mahrez. Beautiful seeing an Algerian in the top 10. Van Dijk, Ronaldo, Mane, Salah. I remember, Mbappe 18-19 was crazy. Sadio Mane. I mean, these were the teams that reached the final. Liverpool, Madrid obviously won it. No, Liverpool won it that year. Liverpool played Spurs. Yeah. No Spurs playing the top 10. Moving on, Erik ten Hag has shown he's not made for top European football. I mean, I don't know the exact reasons why Ten Hag got sacked. And when you see someone get sacked that quickly, I think only 100 days in the managerial stint, I think it's more than what just happened on the pitch. Maybe the dressing room didn't want Ten Hag. Many players went to the Bayer Leverkusen board and said, yo, sack this guy. So I think it's more than that. But again, it depends on him 100%. I think Ten Hag has, a demeanor. You got to work with him. It's his way or the highway, and that just doesn't bode well with other players, it seems like. But it's going to be interesting if Ten Hag can find another job. I mean, going from United to Leverkusen, that's actually an upgrade. Going from I don't know what United were playing at that time, to Champions League football. Worrying for Erik ten Hag. His contract would have expired this year. Neymar Jr., man. In the memories of Paris Saint-Germain. Petrol. Height-wise, he must be the best player ever. I think Neymar Jr., if you're strictly talking as just like a street football, he wants to humiliate the opponent. And that makes him great. Guess the national team level impossible. Uruguay? I guess it's a little bit old one. Darwin Núñez, Valverde, Bentancur, Ugarte, Araujo. Don't know. Jimenez, Matias Oliveira. I don't know who that is. Varela, I think. I don't know who that is. And I don't know who that is. Cheeky. Donnarumma, but Luis Enrique. I've always had an excellent relationship with him. I appreciate his honesty with me. Disappointed. I don't know. Every coach has the right to make their own decisions. The support from my teammates made me realize what I bring to PSG, and that's the most important thing. Beyond football, that's what remains. Knowing the affection of everyone, of the entire PSG entourage of my teammates, makes me proud. Yeah. Obviously, Donnarumma, when he looks at leaving PSG, he only sees Luis Enrique's face laughing at him. You're gonna leave. So I don't think he has that much fun. Obviously, he was his manager for 2 years. Incredible moments, win the Champions League with him and everything. But a bit heartbreaking, obviously, how it ended. Might be the greatest hate watch of all time. It truly was a great. I mean, it wasn't a hate watch for me. I was supporting PSG, but especially for the Prem fans, 100%. I mean, it was a dirty, physical game. Not that many chances. Liverpool were the better team, I felt, especially in that second half. Paris Saint-Germain, mentality monsters, got it through. Are they trying to say like he hasn't been, like he's lost muscle or something? I don't think so. Like Isak has always been extremely lean, so I don't know. That's In kickball, they are love physique, but active gas up reduce use of muscle. They make him move like a bouncy cat. Isak is lean, explosive. Yeah, I mean, this is Isak. This is what makes him great. So, I mean, Neymar. Neymar, basically, from his entire career was this thin. And that's also what made him so good. Also, a little bit what made him injury prone. Isak, also an injury prone player because muscles obviously reduce the likelihood of getting injured. What's this? Only Premier League signings. Certified flop. Why is Jorel Hato there? Jorel Hato is like insane. Like he's been what, captain Ajax for like last 2-3 seasons. Versatile as well. Garnacho. All right, this is a troll list. He's getting hate for supporting his country. Solomon, a disgusting Jew, obviously. Mbappe in Champions League rolls over Barca by Madrid. Zlatan Champions League peanuts. Mbappe in Liga 6 seasons at MVP level. Zlatan in 3 MVP level. Mbappe in level achieved. Mbappe in longevity. Mbappe in big matches. No argument for Zlatan. I mean, the first thing here, this is why I say a lot of the records of Mbappe and so on are longevity. Ibra was at the club for 4 years. Mbappe 7. And that season where Ibra was not the MVP is because he was like half injured that season. So I don't understand what this is supposed to mean. In the Champions League, 100%. Kylian Mbappe did more, especially in the knockout stages. But it was more about the team. We had Neymar, we had a better Verratti, a better Thiago Silva. I don't know about better Thiago Silva, but we had a better squad around Mbappe and Neymar. And the experience was there, and Ibra and the previous team, they put the foundation. But yeah, Mbappe, I can give him that. Level achieved. I still think peak Ibra 15-16 is better than peak Mbappe. Mbappe longevity 100%. Mbappe in big matches, I don't know. I still think Ibra has more goals against the top sides in France and still great amount of goals in the Champions League. No argument for Zlatan. I mean, especially when you look at their stats, Ibra has a better goal scoring ratio than Kylian Mbappe as well. Mbappe was more that he stayed for longer, he got more opportunities, and he played at a PSG which was competing at a higher level than the PSG team that Ibra had around him. Smells insecurity here from this Mbappe fan. But man who calls himself a king is no king. This is the Lamine Yamal. Genuinely disgusting. But I actually like seeing this because it's a really simple answer. The majority of these people, for example, you have Deco, you have Gavi. Wait. 1 second. I just want to double check. Because I saw a quote, it could be fake. Okay, back to Yamal. Okay, then it must have been fake then. The issue is with this is majority of these are like connected to Yamal in some way, like Deco, sporting director of Barca, previous players, Spanish players, they will always push for their players. And then second of all, majority of these players, let's take Chris Wood. How many Barca games do you think he watched? How many Lamine Yamal performances do you think Chris Wood watched? Maybe 3? Maybe 4? And he's going to give you an answer. So that's why I've never taken like ex-football players and ex-pundits and football players' opinion seriously. Their opinion is as valid as my opinion, the neighbor's opinion, anyone's opinion. Because I consider majority of these to be casuals in terms of watching the sports and somewhat understanding the sport. If you don't watch majority of the games, you're not going to understand it. I watched majority, especially of the big games that Lamine Yamal played in last season. So don't take this seriously. This is all straight propaganda. I mean, this has to be one of the worst propaganda runs I have ever seen in my life. This Yamal propaganda push. The glazing I've seen of Yamal is genuinely disgusting to this point. But look, we have 19 more days, I believe, until the Ballon d'Or gets sealed, and we don't have to see this garbage anymore. Yes, they will do the same Zionistic push for the next one, but we already got one at that point, so we'll move on. I mean, yeah, he's going to talk about the Eric Garcia miss here. I mean, Barca got the second straight after, so. Again, it's so funny to me that Barca fans are trying to find so many reasons why they lost versus Inter, when the reason why they lost versus Inter is right there in front of them. They were trailing in both legs basically for 90% of the time. They only had the lead against Inter in both legs, like 3% of the time after Rafinha scored the winner until Acerbi scored the goal. Barca was trailing because Inter Milan scored, and it was way too easy for them to score. In the first leg, it was a goal from the kickoff, then 2 set pieces, corners, and then in the second leg, I mean, the Barcelona defense was absolutely embarrassing. That's why it's a bit hard to slander the Barca attackers, like definitely not Yamal. Even Rafinha, he wasn't that good, but he got basically a goal in both games. He has hit the crossbar and Sommer's head. But the attack and even the chance creation, everything, you scored 6 goals. I think basically every team that scored 6 goals in a double-legged Champions League semi-final tie went through. But you can see that 7, that's why you went out. Like, it's clear your defensive problems that costed you this tie. But Uruguay missed, and Gerard Martin didn't get a Fugazi free kick. Potential disrespect. What's this? Neymar. Hey. Bob. Hey. Neymar. Don't forget the Yeah, I've seen this. It's from Telegraph. I'm waiting for Monuet de Lojuet or something to put out their worldwide revenues, because I don't trust in these that much. But I mean, it makes sense. Madrid, City, PSG have basically always been the top 3 when it comes to the money generated by football clubs. Name one thing Wenger would do with this team, win the Prem with beautiful football. I mean, he would have to get rid of a lot of players. I don't think Wenger would play Timber as a right back and Rice. All right, another one. Guess the national team level impossible. Shouldn't be impossible. Serbia? Juventus Vlahovic? No. Manchester United? Oh, is it Cameroon? No, can't be with Madrid. Turkey. Yildiz, Arda Güler. Oh, I don't know. Hakan? I don't know. Ooh, has to be, what's his name? You know, that was a Feyenoord, went to Benfica, then he went to Besiktas for like a 30 million price tag. Forgot his name now. Kardioglu. Demiral has to be, this one has to be Demiral. Selik and Beyteger, wherever his name is. Go on there. I think this is the Camp Nou. And actually, it was reported before that UEFA gave permission to Barca to play Champions League games at the Camp Nou. So, Paris Saint-Germain versus Barca could be played at the Camp Nou. Looks good. And I've heard that obviously all the seats won't be available because the construction isn't done yet. I think there's upper parts and everything, but it will still be a good atmosphere. And I'm happy because, you know, we've played twice. No, we only played once at the Montjuic, and I don't like. I want to go back to the Camp Nou, beat Barca at the Camp Nou. Because even the last time when we beat them in 2021, it was an empty Camp Nou because of COVID. So at least get a half-seated one. Who's the worst number 7 in this conversation? Let's do a top 6. I'm gonna put Neto lost immediately. Put Neto lost. Him and Mason Mount basically lost together 5 and 6. I'm gonna put Verts first, Saka second, Xavi third, Marmoush fourth. So the worst one, I mean, it's a coin toss between Neto and Mount. You know what? Let's go. Mason Mount is the worst number 7 here. Very difficult, but delete the overrated striker, Didier Drogba. I'll put him. I think he gets majority of his hype for the stuff that he did in the Premier League. A little bit with that with Suarez, but he obviously had that time at Barca. Yeah, I'm gonna put if I had to delete any one of these, I would delete Didier Drogba. Another guess the national team. Level medium. Ooh, I'm getting Denmark immediately. Because I know Hjelmund. I know Andersen. Probably, yeah, Schmeichel, Højlund, Eriksen, Dorgu. Don't know the rest. I didn't even clock this. Actually says Scorpius Yakutis. Yeah, Sweden. Vamos. And I remember the goal Sesko scored against us in the first game as well. Might be the greatest hate watch of all time. Tebas, I will piss on you. This is how much La Liga spent. Atleti, I don't know. People said they found oil under their stadium. Barca 5th with 27 million. I know they didn't need to strengthen the squad as much as a Madrid or an Atletico, but Madrid, yeah, Barca, man, is so broke, bro. Again, as Femboy Furman here is saying, it's Tebas. It's not just Tebas. Serie A and La Liga were the two leagues that got mostly affected after COVID and, still haven't gone back to pre-COVID numbers. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And then you have the Premier League, which is a monopoly, which is just overtaking everything. You can be playing at Villarreal, and if 20th place Burnley calls you, you will go. Why? Not because you want to play in the competitive Premier League. That's just a Zionistic propaganda lie from the Premier League. No, it's because of the money. The highest wage at Betis. You know what? Let's even look at it. Let's even take a look. Real Betis wage. The issue is Burnley isn't that good because they just came from the championship. So we're going to pick like the worst Prem club that stayed up last season. Let's do that. So, not Spurs. We'll take Wolves. So this is Real Betis, their wages. Let's take a look. Okay, you know what? Maybe not. maybe not. Isco has a really high wage there. 80, 72. All right, let's look at like top 3, top 5. Okay, this is pounds. Let's go to euros. 81, 75, 57. You see? So the top 3 is extremely similar. Isco just, let's say, a little bit above. Like the average, looking at down here, 34. It's very similar. This is Real Betis, I think, they reached the Conference League final and they went, where did they finish in La Liga? Maybe 6th? No, 8th. So if you play at Betis and 16th place Wolves calls you, you join them. Why? The money. The money. And this is funny for me as a PSG fan because, always they say, players choose PSG for money. It was never about that. But this one, Premier League, it's all about the money. And that means just everyone keeps joining them and they get that monopoly over the best talent in the world. And it just gets worse for La Liga and Serie A and Bundesliga and Liga and everyone. But suffered slight injury, just left hamstring during. Wow, interesting. Obviously, he wasn't even called up by Spain, so he just got injured in like the Barca individual training. Imagine this goal wasn't ruled offside. Yeah, the Khvicha goal. Look at this beauty, man. What a goal, by the way. Oh, and Alisson, who had a masterclass, even he couldn't. Look at that celebration. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I think that's a great ending. We'll end it with that. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. That's been it from boy PSGINT. See you guys on episode 12 of PSGINT Reacts to Tweets. And as usual, allez, Paris.